IPMNation.com.
Living in a city, when you're in it, watch the people walk by. And if you listen real close, you can hear them talk about their lives. And some hate it, some love it, some are felt, some are just tired. These are the people in the neighborhood, they just trying to make it out right. See, she never wanna be.
Hey, good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody, depending upon when you listen to the show. This is Dr. John Rich, Dr. John's Neighborhood. Thanks for joining me. Looking forward to today when we finish our first half hour. We'll cut to commercial, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with a couple of people who are servers at a local restaurant. We'll be talking about the life of a server, some issues involving tip policies and sexual harassment on the job. And this is a fun group of people who I'm told are going to have had a little bit of alcohol imbibing before they start talking with me. So we'll have to see what kinds of things they say in the midst of their lucidity. I'm coming at you on a Friday that's at the end of my spring break. The life of a professor. I teach psychology at Delaware State University. Life of a professor is a pretty sweet one. Right there in the middle of my spring semester, I always get a week off. And you've seen or heard of those videos called Girls Gone Wild or Girls on Spring Break. And I'm convinced they should have some videos called Professors Gone Wild. Because let me tell you, we're out there on spring break. We're saying things without citing our sources. I go around in a jacket that doesn't have any patches on the elbows. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's exciting. When those professors let their hair down, they really let their hair down. Anyway, let's continue our conversation about money. I know that maybe it seems odd to you that I keep talking about money, and I'm a psychologist, but if you caught me a couple shows ago, you know that I talked about that, one of the things that helps people thrive and reach their potential and have a real high sense of well-being is when they can live a life that has as few stressors as possible. And there's a lot of psychological research out there that has demonstrated that poverty or financial trouble can create stress that can impact your marriage, it can impact your parenting, it can impact your own mood. And so even though the kinds of things that I've been talking about for the past couple weeks in the first half of these shows seem like they're about concrete strategies that are separate from my pursuit of psychological truth, they're not. I consider the struggle to remain financially solvent to be a really important part of any person's desire to live a life that is satisfying and gives them the luxury to pursue their dreams. So last time, or a couple times ago, we talked about the importance of making a budget and facing the truth on that budget. I asked you to create a budget where you had some numbers that represented the amount of money that you could expect to be coming in as income. I asked you to create another column that took all of your expenses and did an honest accounting of how much you had going out. Then you take your income minus your expenses. If the number that you get after doing that subtraction is a positive number, then you know that you have a surplus, and if that's the case, good for you. And if you end up with a negative number as your result, then you know that you're running a deficit. And if you don't make some changes, either to the income side of the budget by bringing more money in, or the expenses side of the budget by spending more wisely and having less money going out, you're going to fall deeper and deeper into debt. We talked last time about rank ordering your expenses by the amount of interest that you were paying to credit card vendors or any other places where you had money going out, car payments, student loans, etc., and then to try to focus on paying down over a period of time the amount of money that paying down the debt with the highest interest rate. And then once you pay down the debt with the highest interest rate, you take the amount of money that you were spending to pay down that debt with the highest interest rate, and you add it to the minimum payment of the debt that has the next highest interest rate, and you gradually end up with a nice chunk of change that you can begin applying to one debt after another to lower the amount of expenses and get yourself back to the black. We talked about certain, ways to take a look at the expense side of your budget and make some phone calls. Try to strategize with the insurance company that you use, the student loan servicer that you use, the utility companies that you use, about ways that you can take advantage of programs that maybe you didn't know were out there to lower the amount of money that you have going out. I like to say that in situations like that, the worst thing that can happen if you call and ask the question is that they tell you that there's nothing that they can do to help, and in that case, you're right where you would have been if you hadn't even made the call. So even if you make 12 calls and only 3 of them have something that they can do to try to lower your expenses, you've now lowered your expenses by a certain amount of money, and you can readjust the budget to see how much a shortfall do you need to try to make up. I gave you some homework last time, and I gave you 3 websites that I wanted you to check out. And if you did that, good for you. And if you didn't, let's walk through them right now. So I got my second laptop open, and I'm going to a website called, look at that. I realized that last time I told you to go to crazycouponlady.com, and actually the website is thecrazycouponlady.com. What an idiot I am! No, I'm just kidding. So, TheKrazy. See, this is how crazy she is. You didn't know that she was crazy, but she's so crazy that she spells the word crazy with a K. I mean, you better hold on to your seats before you go checking out this website, because you know right there that this is going to be ridiculous. TheCrazyCouponLady.com, crazy with a K, coupon though with a C. I mean, she's not going overboard here. She's at least going to spell the coupon part with the C. And the Crazy Coupon Lady tells us that she's the world's #1 couponing site. I can't verify or deny that, but I have used this site and do use this site and feel like it's a really good place for you to explore. You'll see right there across the top, after it makes this claim that it's the #1 couponing site, over to the right it has a place that you can click called Beginner's Guide. And if you're a beginner to couponing or a beginner to the type of couponing practices that a person who's this crazy might use, you should start there. And she's going to talk a little bit about some of the terms that you're going to see and some of the types of opportunities you should be looking for. Then across this yellow strip, you'll see that you can hover your scroll over the word stores and pick a store that you know you're going to be going to. So if you know that tomorrow you got to go to Target, then you can just move your cursor over to Target and click on Target, and it'll give you all of the deals at Target that they think are worth pursuing. All these other places, Kmart, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Amazon, Toys R Us, Safeway. So that's one way that you can explore the site. I'd say like the key thing to take away from the crazy coupon lady is that when you're thinking about your shopping, you should think about your shopping in terms of, which things do I have to get no matter what they're going to cost, and which things do I know that I eventually have to get, but I can be somewhat patient. And then I kind of intimated this last time, but one of the best ways that you can lower your expenses on household items that you know you're going to have to pay for eventually, and this is where having a little bit of extra money or a little bit of wiggle room can help, is to buy things when the season that they are used for is wrapping up. So you buy winter coats for your kids at the end of the winter, and you buy them 2 sizes bigger than the size that they currently wear. And then when next winter rolls around, instead of paying full price like you'll have to because everybody wants a winter coat at the beginning of winter, you'll have bought a coat for 75% off that fits perfectly fine. Just put it somewhere and wait until wintertime comes up. Sunscreen is a good example. So what I've noticed is that somewhere in late September, early October, you can go to drugstores and you can find bottles of sunscreen that are oftentimes 70, 65% off because they don't want that stuff on their shelves anymore. But what's funny about sunscreen is that it doesn't really go bad, at least not, in 1 year. So if you know that you're going to be going to the beach next summer and you have a little bit of extra money, then put it on your calendar at the end of September or early October to go to Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid or wherever it is you like to go and wait for the sunscreen to go on deep discount and buy a whole bunch of it up. The other thing that you can do that crazy coupon lady is going to talk with you about is this idea of stacking. So the best way to get the best price is to stack different things. So one of the things that by stacking, you mean that you're going to combine things that create a discount for you all into one shopping trip. I like to say that with the exception of the items that you absolutely know you have to buy, like perhaps milk or eggs or butter, you can't really wait for those to go on sale. Other items where you have the ability to wait, you can combine strategies like finding a good coupon for sunscreen right there in the middle of the summer and holding on to it instead of using it. And then waiting till the end of the summer when the sunscreen goes on sale and stack the sale with the coupon. So let's say a bottle of Banana Boat sunscreen costs $10 and you have a $2 coupon. Well, if you need sunscreen right now because you're in the middle of summer and you've run out, then that's fine. By all means, use the coupon and you've taken your price down from $10 to $8. But what if you took that $2 coupon and you put it away somewhere where you knew you could find it, and then you waited till the end of September, and now that bottle of sunscreen, let's be conservative and say that it is on discount for $5. It went down from $10 to $5. And then you take your $2 coupon, and now you're buying that same bottle of sunscreen for $3. Take it, put it in whatever swim bag you use, stick it in the basement until next summer rolls around, and you've got a bottle of sunscreen. Better yet, if you have the excess money, buy as many bottles of sunscreen as you have coupons. And maybe you'll have enough sunscreen to last you throughout the summer, and then at the end of next summer, repeat it. The other thing that you can stack with coupons that I'll talk about in a second is the use of gift cards. We'll get to gift cards after I finish talking about the crazy coupon lady. So when you look on this yellow, a banner, I guess it's called, there's another word called deals, and if you hover over the word deals, you'll see that they give you deals by category. So back to school deals. That's another good thing. If you know that there are certain school supplies that you routinely have to buy your kids, have you ever noticed that when school's about to start, all those school supplies, they are on sale, but not all of them. You can often get some of those things really cheaply if you wait until maybe 1 or 2 weeks into the school year, when the flurry of shoppers who are trying to get all the school supplies right away has died down. So there might be a notebook that was selling for 50 cents and now it's only selling for 30 cents. So you can look at the deals by category, you can look at the deals by different coupon types, and I'm not going to go into smartphone deals and checkout 51 deals and cartwheel deals. Those are things that you can learn about by looking at the beginner's guide. But one of the things that I definitely want to show you is that they have a category called Deals by Price. And this is one of my favorite things, because what they'll do is they will show you how to use stacking to take a coupon that maybe appeared in last Sunday's paper or can be printed by clicking through to another website. Take that coupon and combine it with a sale and maybe a rebate, and you can often get certain items for free. This is what it means by freebies under Deals by Price. Or you can combine all those things, stack all those strategies to get things for under $1. Or in some cases, you can actually stack certain strategies and actually walk away with extra money. So let's click on Money Makers and see what they have here to give you an example of one of those. So they have a money maker for Chobani yogurt at Walmart. Maybe you can see that if you're doing this right now. So this is under Money Maker. It says Chobani celebrating their 10th anniversary, and we are the beneficiaries thanks to a printable coupon and a free Ibotta rebate offer. You can score a nice moneymaker on a single cup of yogurt at Walmart. The coupon expires March 4th, so actually this is going to be expired by the time you're listening to this. But this is just an example of what you can find under the Deals tab, Moneymakers. So this is what they do. They're going to walk you through exactly the steps that you're going to take to be able to take advantage of this money-making idea. So the first thing is they have a place where you can click to go over to Chobani.com, and there's a coupon to get a free container of yogurt. So right there, even if you don't want to do any of the other steps, you're going to get a container of yogurt that's not going to cost you any money. And then they have another place where you can click through to a site called Ibotta.com, where there's a rebate on Chobani, where if you show them that you paid for Chobani, they give you up to $1.20 rebate. So you're buying it for free, and then you're applying for this $1.20 Ibotta credit. It's not actually money that comes to you, it's money that you can use on their app. But it's just like money. And essentially you just bought some yogurt for $1.20. They paid you $1.20 to take the yogurt off their hands. And of course, if you want to be nutso about it, you can do multiple deals by printing these things out and having your spouse be in line behind you and do the same thing. Or you can just go in and buy one and then go back in line and buy another one and go back in line and buy another one, or however you want to, however capital K crazy you want to be. This is just, one of those ideas that I want you to try to pay attention to. Even if you don't use this for everything that you do, there are certain things that if you are just on top of this, you can put alerts on this site so that it'll send you an email if a certain product comes up. If you're a mom and you buy diapers, you have little kids, you go to coupons, it says top coupons, diaper coupons, Pampers coupons, Huggies coupons. You can get an alert when something comes up about Huggies, and then buy your diapers that way. In my opinion, unless you're buying something where you can't wait to buy it until it's on sale, my philosophy is never pay full price. All right, the other website that I want you to go to is a site called giftcardgranny.com. And you'll know you're in the right spot if over on the left it says Gift Card Granny and there's a picture of a grandma. I don't know, is she on a rocking chair? I don't know what she's doing. Something purple. It's not a very good logo, but basically what this is a place where people can sell gift cards to them for a percentage of their face value, and then they turn around and sell it to other people for a discount, albeit a discount that's less than what they paid the original person for it. So, if you're looking for a way to make money, maybe you recently had a birthday and your mother gave you a gift card to JCPenney. And when you got it, you were very nice and you said, "Thanks, Mom," and you were polite and grateful. But in the back of your mind, you said, "I hate JCPenney. I'm not going to JCPenney. What am I going to do with this piece of crap plastic gift card to a place that I know I'm not going to shop?" Well, you can go to Gift Card Granny, and right there in the middle it says Sell Gift Cards, and then you can type in JCPenney, and then you type in, let's say she gave you the card and it was $50, so you tell the Gift Card Granny that it's $50, and you click on Get Offers Now, and you can see that the highest payment that you can get is from a company called Card Kangaroo, and they'll give you $35.78. Actually, it looks like, oh yeah, I guess, no, there's right now they have a listing on eBay for $38.29, but that's not guaranteed that it's going to sell for that price. So you can make a decision at that point. You can say, well, I'm not going to take $36 for a $50 card, and then you go to JCPenney and spend it on something that you know you need, pillowcases or socks or underwear or something. Or you can say, you know what, I'm not setting foot in JCPenney. I think that JCPenney is where the people who are devilish and evil shop, and I would never set foot in there. And you can take the offer and sell it to Card Kangaroo for $36. But more relevant to our discussion in terms of lowering your expenses, more relevant than selling a gift card that you might have lying around, is the idea that you can buy a gift card at a discount. So let's say that you know that you have to go to Dick's Sporting Goods to buy a pair of sneakers. And let's say the pair of sneakers that you're going to buy is going to cost you $50. I know my wife is out there saying $50. I haven't bought a $50 pair of shoes in a long time, but I think $50 is a reasonable price to pay for a pair of sneakers. So let's say you know I'm about to go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy a pair of sneakers for $50. So here, if you go up to the top where it says search from 64,000 gift cards, you type in Dick's Sporting Goods and click on search, and it'll pull up the amount of the amounts of gift cards that are available, and then the price to you. So what I see is there's a company called Cardpool who has a $50 Dick's gift card that I can currently buy for $42.60. I want you to understand what that means. The card is going to be worth $50, but I'm only paying $42.60. So as long as I can be a little bit patient, because it might take a week for this gift card to arrive in the mail, and incidentally, some of these cards are electronic cards where they'll just email you the card number right away. But if I'm going to get a card that's going to be mailed to me, then I got to wait a week to be able to buy my sneakers. I would encourage you to wait a week to buy your pair of sneakers. So now you're going to pay $42.60 for a $50 gift card. You're going to wait a week, and now you're going to get that pair of sneakers for $42.60. But wait! There's another site that I asked you to go to, and here is another way that you can stack. Top Cashback. TOPCASHBACK. This seems more complicated than it is. All this is a company that's entered in deals with different vendors to offer people cash back on the purchases that they make. So let's go on this search bar and just type in Dick's and see if anything comes up. And lo and behold, it does. So you type in Dick's and you click on Dick's Sporting Goods, and then right there it says Dick's Sporting Goods cash back, and it says 3%. And when you click on the button that says cash back, watch what happens. Oh well, then you have looks like you have another site where you click on get cash back now. And then if you wait a couple seconds, it takes you right to Dick's, and as long as you do your shopping on this page that just opened, then however much money you spend at Dick's, you're going to get 3% of the amount of your shopping cart sent back to you in the form of cash that you can have deposited into your bank account. So now, let's go back to our shoes. We had a pair of shoes that was going to cost us $50. We went to Gift Card Granny and we found a gift card for $50 that was only going to cost us $42.60. And since the amount of our shopping cart, if we use, is still going to be $50, so you understand, like Dick's Sporting Goods doesn't know that the gift card that you're going to use only cost you $42.60. As far as they're concerned, you paid $50 for that gift card. So your balance at Dick's is going to be $50, and if you multiply $50 times 0.03, that means you're going to get another $1.50 off by using Top Cashback. So you're stacking the gift card discount with the Top Cashback discount. We already know that the gift card was $50 minus $42.60, which was our actual cost. So the gift card is saving us $7.40, and then the Top Cashback link is going to save us another $1.50. So we're actually saving $8.90 on our $50 pair of shoes. If we divide that into the $50 that they would have cost if we hadn't taken all these steps that barely take you any time at all, we're going to save 18%. That is truly crazy. That's crazy with a K and instead of the Y, 2 E's at the end. That's how crazy it is. K-R-A-Z-E-E. Anyway, all kidding aside, stacking, very powerful. Anytime you can. If you're buying something and you can just wait a week to buy it. Think about what it is that you know you're going to buy and where you're going to buy it. Go to Gift Card Granny, find a gift card at discount that will have enough money on it for you to make your purchase. Wait for the gift card to arrive in the mail. Then go to Top Cashback and find the vendor. Click through to their website. And then use the gift card to pay for your purchase. And watch your expenses go down. Just imagine if half of the money that you were going to spend on clothes and food based on just these 3 websites could go down by 10%. Take a look at that real quick. Just take a look at the line items on your budget for food and clothes. Is that what I said? Just food and clothes? Just take a look at food and clothes. Let's say that your food budget is $6,000 a year. And let's say your clothing budget is $1,000 a year. And let's say that you could lower that using these stacking techniques by 10%. That's an extra $700. $700. $700 is KRAZEE. Now you can go to your budget and you can lower the food and the clothing amounts by 10% and take a look at your shortfall get a little bit smaller. If you're running a $3,000 deficit and you can use these stacking techniques to be only down $2,300, then that is just another step in the right direction. So that completes the little unit that I wanted to do about decreasing expenses using credit cards that give you points or cash back, taking your expenses and going line by line and making phone calls about how you can lower the monthly payments that you have to send, and then stacking things like sales and coupons and top cash back and gift cards to be able to perhaps just right there lower the line items in your expenses so that you've got a balanced budget. Even if you have a balanced budget, wouldn't it be nice to have even more money in your pocket, like extra money? Or even if you're already in the situation where you've got a surplus, wouldn't it be nice to have another surplus? Of course it would. So what we're going to talk about next time is we're going to talk about increasing your income, places that you can go to find some extra work, or ways that you can strategize how to make some extra money, and then also taking any surplus you have and using it wisely for the future. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to help you with your money situation. Anybody out there who is interested in having me talk through some of these strategies with them in person, just get in touch with me, info@drjohnrich.com. Look forward to hearing from you. And when we come back, we're going to be talking with Katie and some other servers at a restaurant nearby. Looking forward to that conversation. Just give me a second to run an ad or two, and we'll be right back.
10 years ago, the energy market was deregulated. This opened the market to new suppliers. Ambit Energy is one of those suppliers. Go to ipmnation.ambitrabbit.com and see how you can not only get free energy by switching to Ambit, you can also earn travel reward points while lowering your utility bills. Learn more by going to ipmnation.ambitrabbit.com. Start saving today.
IPM Nation is proud to be sponsored by Uptown Auto Repair, located in Manchester, New Hampshire at 578 Mast Road. Phone number is 603-625-8026. Have you ever heard of a mechanic that guarantees their work? Well, now you have with Uptown Auto Repair, 603-625-8026.
IPMNation.com.
All right, we're back from commercial. Thanks for sticking around. And I have sitting here at my dining room table 3 lovely ladies from a local restaurant in Dover, Delaware. Here's Katie. Say hi, Katie.
Hey.
And then there's Dee.
Hi.
And Jenna.
Hey.
All right. So we're just going to talk about, what it's like to be a server. I actually tried being a server when I was in college. I worked at Friendly's. It was a horrific experience, and I lasted exactly 3 weeks. I remember that toward the end of the 3 weeks, I was literally going home and just orders and mistakes that I had made that night were going through my head.
That's
and
awful.
I couldn't sleep. I
I forgot the Lay's Ranch. I always get that
4
one.
o'clock in the morning, you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About ranch dressing.
And then it was just, I decided that that wasn't worth it, especially considering that I wasn't getting a paycheck because, and we'll talk about this later, I was making $2.01 an hour, And then when you take the taxes out, then I ended up getting nothing. And of course, I was so shitty that my tips were terrible, so it wasn't worth the time.
I'm sure you weren't shitty. I'm sure
No?
you were great.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe as a person, I'm willing to say that about myself, but not as a server. I wasn't good. I know I wasn't good. No, I only done it for 3 weeks, but my brother does it up in Brooklyn, and he's been served me before, and he's perfectly great at it. So
I think
I don't
you
know
either
how you
have
did
it or you don't.
Yeah.
Have it or you don't. Yeah. And so this is Jenna that just spoke up, and I wanted to start with a quote that you had when we were talking before the show that I think is a good way to start the conversation. You said, and I quote, "Everyone should work in a restaurant at least once in your life." So that's a pretty bold statement. Why do you think that?
Because not to do with the whole tips and fast cash. I just think that people who go to restaurants a lot and have never worked in one would be humbled a little bit when it comes to how to deal with your server and how to treat a server and realize that you're not their only table. I know bigger chains like Red Lobster and Olive Garden, they're given a 3-table section. Restaurants like the one that we work downtown, you're not given a section for dinner, so you could have 6 tables. One of them could be a 10-person party.
Wow.
And you always get that one table that wants everything. Or if another server is going by their table, they're asking where their server is when you were just there. So I think it would help them see that customer service and dealing with the server. It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Especially when there's cooks who've been working in a restaurant business for 10 or so years that will say, I never will serve. They like to stay in the kitchen because they can't. They would never be able to handle it.
Yeah. So let's take a hypothetical scenario where you have 6 tables tonight. Let's say you're going to work tonight. You have 6 tables. And all 6 of those tables are model customers. Like, you're not having any trouble with them at all. They are like when I come down to the restaurant, right? Just perfectly great, wonderful people. You want to be around them all the time.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. But so let's say you have 6 tables and they're great. Is it still hard, or is what makes the job hard having to deal with the customers?
See, I kind of like the pressure. Like, I love when I'm busy because I'm like, I'm on my A game. Like, I got it. And it's when certain people, Saltine gets involved.
Saltine?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That's a code word for that's a code word for our
Imagine
manager.
that the microphone just picked that up. Okay, go ahead. Anyway.
Should have known. But it's when he gets involved, because I know how long my food takes. I know how long things take. I know how long my pizzas should be taking. I know how long my appetizers. And I have this whole method of where to go and everything. And
Time management.
Yes,
If you're good at time management and know how to do that with every one of your tables and your food, you don't need help.
Yeah. And it's when he comes in and he runs my food and doesn't tell me, I'm in the back flipping out. Where are my things for table 12? I don't know. I'm like, what's going on? And then he comes, I ran them. I'm like, you could have told me that. Or,
so do you have a system? Let me ask Dee. Do you have a system? Like, here's your 6 tables. They obviously have come in at different times. So do you have something like a running tally in your head? Like, they're at the how's everything going phase, and these people are at the can I get you dessert phase or whatever.
Correct.
And it's like a set order. So
For me it is.
So what's the order? Give me the order
For me,
from the time I sit down.
Greet the table, get drinks. Usually when I'm getting drinks, they'll call you from the kitchen that you have food to bring to another table.
Okay.
So drop off the food, go back, get drinks, read the table specials. Some tables order, some tables need a couple of minutes.
Okay.
That's fine. And then it's just, we stage it. We all stage our tables.
What's that mean, staging?
Staging of when food's coming out, when you're going to bring them stuff, how you're going to just do a quick run through the dining room of your tables and your fellow servers' tables to see if they need anything.
Okay.
And then when you're in that groove, and then somebody takes something off the table, or it's like, hey, this table needs this, and you're like, no, I was just there, they were fine. It breaks that. And somehow when that happens, then your next couple of tables in your mind are not going to go right.
Huh. Okay. So it's like you've got
A system.
You've got a groove,
Yep.
and then someone breaks the groove, and now all of a sudden, like, you're thrown off your game.
You're thrown off your game a bit.
Is that for everybody?
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, if somebody comes in, you got them their drinks, and then you go back to drop their check off at another table, you know that table you just dropped your check off is going to look at the bill. They're going to try and figure out the tip amount percentage. So you probably have a good 2-3 minutes. That 2-3 minutes gets you to go back to the table you just gave drinks to, maybe to read the specials or take their order before you go back, grab the check, and then go put that table's order in.
So that was my problem with, because they gave me 6 tables at Friendly's. It was like I had a week of training, and then here's 6 tables.
See, that's
And I would
crazy.
forget everything. I would go and be like, hey, so are you ready to order? They'd be like, we already ordered like 15 minutes ago. I forgot to take it
is
back.
a lot for
Yeah.
a person.
Yeah, that was like
we
21 or
always do,
whatever.
like, 3
but I
tables.
couldn't
Yeah, we
do
give them
that.
3.
Like I couldn't juggle 6 separate lists with 6 tables that are at a different spot on the list. So is that just practice, or do you have a way of being able to handle that?
Practice. I used to get anxiety attacks before going into our workplace. I used to like be freaking out before, because back in the day it was just April and I in there. That was it. April was on the bar, and then it was me, and of course she had her regulars, and which meant everyone at that time because I was new, and it was definitely an adjustment, especially when we did get busy because we weren't ready. We didn't have a bus host at the time. So, and Abel's trying to make all the drinks too, and then go to our tables too, and do the bar too. And it was just so much, and it was just exhausting.
So back to the 6 tables, but you have great customers. That's obviously easier than if you have bad customers, but is it still difficult, or is that pretty manageable for you, for the 3 of you?
I think it's pretty manageable because most of you guys are pretty patient, and you can tell, especially if it's a busy weekend. You
guys can see if we're busy, and especially if the regulars like you guys.
You kind of hang out a little bit longer, so
yeah.
it gives us a little bit more time in between tables that are just want to eat or got somewhere to go to take care of that.
Yeah.
And, so here's a drink. We'll take care of it to keep you, satisfied and know that we're busy. So that helps a lot, I think, sometimes.
And if you tell us if you're catching a show or you have a specific
You're in a
amount
rush.
of time or you're in a rush, if you state that to us in the beginning, we make sure you get out.
So you can
when
adjust
you
your
need to.
list.
Or we can let you know that we're sorry, we're not going to get you what you need in that amount of time.
You can't get your well done filet done in 20 minutes.
Right.
You should probably get maybe fried Brussels sprouts or something else like that.
Right, something that's easy to come up with.
Yeah.
Right. So, what about some of the more difficult customers? Like I have here a note to talk about 5 cherries. Man, Dee, can you tell us about your 5 cherries story?
We have a particular mother that comes in with her child, and he gets a lidded cup with Sprite, and it must have 5 cherries in it.
Okay.
Not 4, not 6.
So it's like a movie star. I only want blue M&Ms in the dressing room or something.
The child also only eats calamari.
Okay.
So we bring the calamari out to him, and he proceeds to pick the breading off the calamari and throw it on the floor, and the mother allows him to do this.
And then that's you. You got to clean that up.
That's us cleaning it up. Us or the bus host if we're busy.
Wow.
Not fun.
Yeah, that's terrible. In fact, I know from going to the restaurant that you often bring up, not to brag, but that my kids know how to act in public.
Yes.
And that sometimes you do run into people whose children have not been trained on how to behave when you're in a public place like that.
No, we do have a lot of customers that bring their children in, and it's never a problem.
And I don't think it's being trained. I don't think you need to train your child to go to a restaurant. I think it's being a parent and not letting your child just get away with doing whatever the hell they want.
You still want to run around the restaurant and let them do whatever. I can't tell you how many times I almost ran into kids with hot plates before because, our
You're not looking down.
Yeah,
They're short.
I'm holding up hot plates and there's a kid. I'm just like, okay, just...
So you think that, like, the way that child's generally being parenting is just, it's happening in the restaurant too. That's not a separate thing.
Yeah,
Like they're
it's
perfectly
happening at
great
home.
kids.
Yeah.
Except when they come to a restaurant and then all of a sudden
Yeah, the
they're like
parents
the
are on
king
their
of
cell
Sweden.
phone and just not even paying attention.
And taking advantage of the fact that they don't have to clean it up.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. They can have their dinner, make a mess, let's do all this stuff on the floor, and they get to leave.
So that gets back to what you were saying before, that the reason people should be a server is because it gives them empathy. And it seems like a mother like that doesn't have the empathy for the fact that somebody else has got to clean up this shit on the floor that your kid just put
Yeah,
down.
especially when we were busy. Like, I feel so bad, like, bringing a customer to a table and underneath it's horrible. There's just fingers, fruit everywhere.
Fingers? Oh, you mean chicken
Chicken
fingers?
fingers.
Oh.
Yeah, not real fingers.
That's really messy. Yeah, that's really
fingers
messy.
are going crazy over there. with their
Fingers underneath the table.
But like chicken fingers, like fries, and like fruit just everywhere. Like I love when I see parents that actually like try to pick it up, and like I see them struggling with especially if they're alone. I'm like, I got it. Like, don't worry about it. I'm like, you're here alone with the baby. Like, that's a lot right there.
If they're
Like,
making the attempt,
yeah,
we
love
stop
it.
them.
Yeah,
We love it. We'll stop them. We're like, don't worry about it. We got this.
Right.
And it's not every parent with a child.
No.
A lot of people apologize for the mess. And like you said, Katie, like you can tell when a parent is struggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a parent by themselves and they have all their kids and there's a baby crying and they're trying.
Yeah.
So you just want to feel like they're seeing you as a person instead of
Server.
a server.
Yeah, I'm your
Right.
server.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, take all this trash on the floor.
Which we
for you.
are, but we're not your personal server that you
Yeah.
get to take home and like do this, do that, give me this, 5 million bistros.
Yeah. Hey, shut up! Hey, that's for me. That's for
Yes.
me.
Oh my god, that's
They have the
hilarious.
sauce. The listeners, they have the sauce at their restaurant that I really like, and
He loves
I often
it.
ask for more. And now they're poking
Or a
fun at me.
gallon container.
At least it's not lemons, extra lemons, and hot water, and
Because you can't
sugar.
charge for that, right?
Yeah.
no, but then they want to bring out their own tea bag, and then when we
Oh,
charge
no.
them for it,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like what?
Do we come up with a code word for her? Or
The half-price burger lady? Is
yeah,
that what
half
we're going
price
to talk
burger
about?
lady. There we go.
So
Half
here's
price
another
burger lady.
story that we're ready to talk about, because we're talking about customers who are difficult, and we have somebody, half-price burger lady. That's what we're calling her. So tell me about her.
So this
You
woman.
got to prep yourself just
Yes,
to tell the
I
story.
do, because it's exhausting. She would come in all the time on Saturdays, all the time. She would get a rare burger, and then she would get her Swiss cheese on the side because she wouldn't be able to taste the cheese on the burger. She had to do it separately. I don't know. And then she would get an order of fries, and she needed barbecue sauce and butter for her fries.
Butter.
Butter and barbecue sauce for her fries.
Okay.
And then she would at least ask for at least 6 lemons because she said it got the chlorine out of the water.
The chlorine. Okay.
Chlorine out of the water.
Out of the 2 glasses of
she,
room temperature water.
she would need a half glass of hot water and a half a glass of room temperature water so she can make her own perfect thing up. And then
she has a tea bag. Is that...
No tea
okay.
bags. No tea bag. But she would bring in her own power cord so she could hook up all of her, devices to it in our restaurant. And
charge them. So the restaurant is paying for the electricity to charge her stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
and our boss loved that. He just loved it, of course. You know.
So this is a regular? Like you have to deal
I
with this
actually
person
haven't seen her in a while.
Okay.
And because she actually used to live across the street from us. So that's why we would see her all the time.
Yeah.
And she is really nice. And she'd always be like, oh, I tip you 20%. And she would.
Does she? Oh, okay.
But it would be for a half price burger though. Like, so it'd be like $2.
Uh-huh.
And everybody knows on our Saturday half price burgers, you
Right.
have to order something
At least an
with
iced
it.
tea or something. But
Not water, but we would still give her because she would be in every Saturday and still just
and
get
she
a
would be
glass
there
of
for
water.
hours. She would be
Yeah.
there for hours.
Uh-huh.
Like, not just... Like, she would be like, oh, it's getting busy in here. And we're like, yep.
Yeah, right. Time to go.
Yeah. And Brandon's like, where's she going? Like, is she going to be here all night? I'm like, I don't know. Like...
Yeah, she
I
brought her
mean-
power strip.
Yeah,
she
like-
got her
like-
iPad, her cell phone.
Right,
She got everything.
they're not yet
Yeah.
charged. I'm not
Yes.
ready to go. They're not fully
and,
charged.
But yeah, well, she actually got kicked out of Frasier's. Did you hear about that? I guess Frasier's, down the street.
It's another restaurant nearby. Uh-huh.
I guess she fell asleep in the bathroom or something, and
bathroom, okay.
yeah, and they locked her in there, and so I guess when she finally got up, and the fire alarms and alarms started going off, and
So this is after they closed?
yes,
She was okay.
she was still in there, so now she's not allowed back in there because they had to pay the fine because if you do a false alarm or
Right.
something,
Yeah.
and she's our special girl.
So was she mentally ill? Would you say?
I don't know. She said she was in the Air Force, and then she told me that she was forced into early retirement, which I feel like is not good. I've never heard of anyone being forced into early retirement.
Forced
you
into
know,
early retirement.
In the military.
yes, in the military. Yeah, I've never heard of
Then
that.
there's a medical reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, there's probably something.
She
a
probably
little bit-
just was lonely. Most of the people that come in there that are a single customer
Yeah.
by themselves that are a little bit older.
See, but I don't mind talking to remember that one guy that used to come in all the time?
Yeah. Chicken Caesar salad.
Yes, delightful.
That's how you remember people.
I'm
Yeah.
horrible with names, but when you walk
would
in,
do the same thing.
I could remember
chicken
the
Caesar
same
salad's
thing
here.
he got all the time.
Huh.
Once in a while, he would change it up, but I remember what you drank, what you get to eat all the time, and
he was such a delight. He was it the last time I saw him, he was looking at property in New Zealand or something.
He would always leave his
he
magazines.
would always bring these awesome magazines for us. And he's like, oh yeah. And he
Gardens
was
and
so
Guns?
yeah, Garden Guns, yes.
All right.
Gardens and Guns
Gardens and
magazine
Guns.
he would bring in. But he was such a delight. He would never
and he would
the
tip
half
you,
price burger lady,
Yeah.
the half price burger lady, she just would keep pestering you and be like, I'd be like, hey, I got other tables. Well, what's going on tonight? Why is there so many people? I'm like, I don't know. I gotta go. I can't hang out with you. I would love to, but I can't.
Would you love to?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I would not. Yeah, that's fine.
No, I would love to, but of course, just that'd be nice, But I just hope she's okay because I haven't seen her in a while, so I hope she's okay.
I don't
Yeah.
go to Safeway anymore. Unless I have to pick up something for the restaurant.
Yeah, but one
on the way in.
regular
Because
message.
she goes to Safeway,
goes
to
so
Safeway.
you don't want to run into her.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one regular actually messaged me about it, and she was like, I just spent a half hour talking to her about how milk is, what did she say about the milk? I guess the government's poisoning our milk or something, and she's like, I'm never going to Safeway again because of her. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about your milk incident. She's like...
So what else about the customers? Do you get hit on a lot or talked to in a way that maybe is not wanted? We're living in the age of Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer and all these other people. So is that an issue for you or no?
I get hit on by the homeless people.
Oh,
by
okay.
our work. So
Well, there
that's
you go.
that's really nice. It's always nice when I get hit on by a nice gentleman. I'm like, oh, nice, thank you. He actually has all of his teeth. That's nice.
Jeez.
Because it is I'll get a homeless guy hitting on me, and then they'll ask me for money. I'm like, how's that work? How are you gonna hit on me and then ask me for money? I'm like, ugh.
I was going to give you a compliment first. And then,
And then they'll ask you for the money.
Hey, you're brown pretty. Oh, hey, you got 50 cents for this pint? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm poor too. Do you have any money? I could use some money.
You turn around
Yes,
and
she
ask
does.
them
I
for
did.
the
Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
I'm like, I could use some money. I'm poor. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it backfires. I have a very sarcastic sense of humor, and I try and play it off if somebody does, and they keep doing it even after I try to make it known that I'm not interested. But with my sense of humor, sometimes it backfires, and I think they think that they can keep on saying stuff, that it's just funny, and we're gonna no.
See, that's when you start doing the man voice. The man voice throws everything off. They're like, nope, don't want nothing to do with it.
So what do you mean? So the man hits on you and then you just respond in a low voice? Is that what you're saying?
pretty much.
Can you give us an example?
Let's enact that. Okay,
Okay,
so
let's do
hey, what are you doing? This is why I could never get dates. Hey,
You've been working here.
what? When do you? Oh, this is what I hear. I hear Heather when she's at the bar. She gets hit on a lot, and I hear all the time. So they're like, so when are you getting off of work?
When are you getting off of work? I'll tell you when I'm getting off of work. When you're done. And they're like, no.
When you're done?
Yes. That's what happens. I always do my man voice, and they're like, nope, can't do it. I'm like, that's what I thought. Sorry, going through the changes, you guys. Sorry, voices are going to change a little bit. That's usually what happens. That's pretty accurate.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, today we were talking about, oh my God, you missed it today. We were talking about sex today in the kitchen. It was so ridiculous.
I'm glad I walked out.
Yeah, it was quite hilarious. It was, oh my God, what we were talking about. It was, I don't even want to say it on because it's so ridiculous, everything.
But you can't leave us hanging.
I know! Oh my God. So we were talking about just in general stuff, and we have the young new kitchen guy, and he's like, oh yeah, I do that all the time, and all this kind of stuff. And
Do what all the time?
Oh, just he's 20, so
Okay.
he's a young buck, so he's just trying to be like,
Fit in.
yeah, he's trying to be like, oh yeah, I do that, yeah, I'm down for anything. And like me and the new salad girl in the back, me and her are just like, no, you probably don't. You probably don't get any of that done.
Oh, that's when I walked in and I was looking at you and she said, you don't want to know.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And Jay said, no, she does want to know. And I just looked at Jay and he's like, it's the new guy. And I said, oh, the one that I have underwear that's older than he is. And everyone was like, that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
That shuts it down. Yeah.
He is so young. Yes, 20.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it seems like that kind of behavior because before the show you said that it has happened, although I was surprised to hear that it didn't happen as often as I was expecting you to say. But when it happens, that's related to that empathy thing too, right? Like if you feel like you can just talk in a disrespectful way to someone who's given you no cues that they're inviting that,
Yeah.
that's a dehumanizing proposition.
I think we were kind of lucky working. I mean, I haven't been there for a while, but at that restaurant because I don't think I was never in an issue put in that type of
Position.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Except for one time, and it was shut down really quick. Never happened again.
So you feel, is it like just a higher level of customer?
Well, it
or
was somebody
something?
who worked there, and it was a really young kid.
Oh,
So
okay.
he thought it was okay. Margarine or whatever we're calling them.
Okay, margarine.
Salt's it. I don't remember. But
margarine.
yeah, and I think he thought that to fit in with everybody else,
Yeah,
jokingly,
a cool kid.
you can't put the hands in the situation. So it got shut down pretty quick. Never happened again. But when it comes to customers, I mean, some of them can say inappropriate things, but I've never been in a position where it was #MeToo. Let me go.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in those, just like I know with the one that we were talking about, I just do my fake laugh. You're so funny. Oh my God, I just can't believe you said that to me. I'm just gonna go wash my hands for 20 minutes. Okay.
And there are certain customers that some of us will take
Right.
knowing that there's going to be inappropriate things said.
Okay.
But we've served them so long that we know what's coming, and we will, because to us, it's not a big deal.
It's just a normal day.
To a newer server, it would be a big deal.
I see.
Yeah.
It's like we shrug it off. I mean, because after being with them every week for a couple of hours a week,
It's been a couple years now.
Yeah.
Probably since
So
before I
it's-
started, which was
Yeah.
5 years ago.
So it's not a matter of you just kind of swallowing your dignity and just plowing through it. It really, at this point,
It's just
with some of
him.
these people, you're just like, oh, this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think if maybe it was a more corporate style restaurant, I
Yeah.
think you would have that
Yeah.
issue because there's more of a turnover with cooks and managers, and there's so many of them because the place is a lot bigger. I think maybe it would happen there a whole lot more than it would happen in a place that we work in. That's
Okay.
smaller, locally
Yeah.
owned. Regulars come in all the time. We know who works there. We know the people that come in there. So I don't think it's been a problem for us.
Yeah, no, I just laughed it off now. I just always tell him I'm a lesbian. That's what I always tell him. I'm like, sorry, I'm a lesbian now. And then, of course, he always pulls me the line, well, I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body. And I'm like, I keep telling him, I go, there's a surgery for that. You can get that done. And
Just have to learn all these.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, I think there are a few customers that would step up if they heard somebody talking to us inappropriately.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that would be like,
yes.
you can't talk to her like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
again, back to the empathy. Some of the customers are. It seems like
because
that
they
the
treat
message
us like
here?
family there.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
Is that the message here, that like what makes a good customer is when you recognize that this is a person doing a job and it's a difficult job and they're busy and they don't want to listen to a 5-minute story about something, right? You don't have the time to listen to a 5-minute story.
Absolutely.
And
But
there
if
are
you-
times where we do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we're more than happy to sit next to them.
Right.
You know, if they need the couple of extra minutes to chit chat, and they feel us out.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not busy, we devote more time to the table.
So how come when I'm there and I start talking to Katie, no matter, it could be empty, and she's just like, shut up. Why does she do that?
It's not true.
That's not. Is that just me then? That must be just
Sometimes
me.
Katie has a bad day.
Oh.
You know,
Every day I come in.
Sometimes the server's
Kyle.
taking advantage.
Kyle comes out.
Which I still haven't met. And sometimes the servers take advantage of the regulars because we know we can get away with a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but
So we're actually like 2 minutes from needing to be done. I mean, I can probably go over a few minutes. I did want to talk about tips, but it seems like tips are a part of the empathy factor too, right? That if you recognize that, like, you basically survive on your tips. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yes.
You told me
Yes.
before the show.
We do not
You
get
never
any-
get a check.
No.
So how is that not illegal to not get a check? How does it work? What's
I feel
the
like
pay
Jerry,
structure
you can
like?
explain this better than anybody.
I'm not 100% sure.
But
But
I'm pretty sure what we were talking about earlier.
I know,
sorry.
so I follow a few blogs on Facebook. If you can't afford to tip, don't go out. My whole thing is people love to go out to restaurants. They want to feel waited on and enjoy a nice dinner out, not have to cook at home. But if it wasn't for servers and bartenders, the cooks, the hosts, everybody, bus hosts, how would you be able to go out to dinner?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we don't get paid $13 an hour. It's, I think, what, $2.30 something?
Yeah.
$2.30 an hour.
$2.30 an hour. And that basically covers any taxes that we have to pay in when we clean tips.
And that's basically the tips that people put on their credit card because
correct.
you know that you're going to get nabbed if you don't pay the tax on that money. Like, that money is being
Right.
reported.
And even if, I know Katie, when I was managing, I've given you a couple voided $0 checks.
Yep.
And that's because she's made so much money, and a lot of it comes around the holidays because people like to use credit cards more. So I would have to give her some hours as a hostess or something, and Brandon would give her in the kitchen because it's a higher wage to cover the taxes, so she's not owing a ton of money at the end of the year. And having a baby and stuff like that, I mean, but working down there, I think we get taken care of pretty well.
Yeah.
But there are people who are like, if you don't want to work if you work at a place and you don't get paid an hourly wage, I'm not paying it, so I'm not going to leave you a tip.
Right.
Yeah, we've gotten.
Go
Didn't
work
you
in
get a
McDonald's.
Bible? Didn't you get
a blessing and a Bible, my first table.
That was your tip.
I've
A
got
Bible.
A Bible, little mini Bible, and a blessing. It
Well,
is a
that's what
blessing
Jesus
to
would have
ser-
done.
Yes,
Jesus
it is a
would have
blessing
given
to
you.
serve others, and you have been a blessing to us.
Wow.
A table of 4.
Okay.
Yes,
The
we'll never
best-
forget that. I carry it in my server book to this day.
The best is when they come in and they leave credit card slips, our copy, and they write this whole long message of, you were wonderful, you were the best service I ever had, here's your 10% tip.
10%.
If that.
Yeah.
So what's considered, let's start, because we're wrapping it up, so let's start talking to people who want to be good customers. Let's say there's somebody out there, and we've just raised their awareness a little bit, right? And they say, I want the server at my restaurant to think like I was a good customer. So let's talk to that person. Like, what can they do to be a good customer?
I would say just give us an idea of what you guys are in the mood for. I know our beer list can be really, really overwhelming for some people because it's ridiculous. You've seen it, you know. And we get a lot of people that come in and they're just Like, I want something like a Miller Lite. I'm like, okay, that's something for me to work with.
Here's a Miller Lite.
I'll try to give them something on draft as the
Okay.
closest thing to I can, because it's people like drafts.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's
Yeah.
colder, it's better. I
Yeah.
get it. Like, and so I'll just try to make things, find them something, or just at least have an idea of what
So
you're in the
don't
mood
make you
for.
scramble around trying
Yeah,
to
or
guess
ask
things.
us questions. First thing I ask people, I'm like, do you have any questions about the menu? Like, anything. Like, nothing is a stupid question. Like, I have someone ask me what was it capatapi is, and they're like, what is this? I don't know what it is. I'm like, it's just a noodle, just a swirly noodle. Was it a corkscrew noodle to be exact?
Okay.
But no, just ask questions. Like, we don't. I'd rather you have a dish that you love, and then, or rather than you get something that you don't like because you didn't realize what was on it.
Okay.
Like-
What else? How about you, Dee?
When we drop off your food
Right?
and we come back and check on you,
Yeah.
if you would all need something,
Yes.
tell us at once.
Right.
Don't let us get one item and drop it off at the table and then say, "Oh, I need this," and then you go and get that item and then you
Can
go
I
back
have some
to
water?
the table.
Then when you come back, he
Yes.
says, "Oh, I could use some water too." That's
Yeah.
probably even the worst, right? When you have to then go back and get the same thing that you just got
Yep.
for one of the other people.
So just be a little more conscientious of that.
Yeah. Okay.
We want, yes, you are our table. We are your server, but we're also 4, 5, 6, 7 other table servers too.
Yeah.
And we all want to give everyone the best dining experience they can possibly have. And it gets a little difficult when you're running back and forth 6 times for
one
one
thing.
thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything to add?
I would just say try and put yourself in our position.
Hmm.
Like, say you have your family and in-laws over for holiday dinner. How many times do you really get to sit down and enjoy your dinner? Because
Right.
you're always up and running around and taking care of something.
Good call.
So just think of that. Be like, all right, do I, how crazy do I get when my family's over for dinner? I can imagine how the server feels. It's busy Friday night. Everybody's out. She maybe has 6 tables. Maybe I can be a little bit more, like you keep saying, empathetic to her or him with my needs and my kids if they're there,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
And then
so
how about
good.
a tip? When you're looking at a tip, like how do you must evaluate it, right? You got to be looking at the tip and then saying, "Oh, that's a terrible tip," or "That's a really good tip." Like, is there math you're doing in your head to try to figure out whether they tipped you well? Is there a certain percentage that people should shoot for if they really want to stand
20%
out?
is always
20% is good.
20%, yes.
Okay.
20% is really good. I try not to look when I go through my tips, I try not to look at them because it sometimes really, frustrates me because I'm like, what happened? I'm like, we had a couple laughs together. I'm like, I thought we had a good time together. Like, why didn't they like me? Like, you know what I mean? It makes me think too
or
much
at least
about
look
it.
at them while you're still working.
Yeah.
Or at the table if you go. Most of the time the busboy picks it up to clean the
Yeah.
table. So you don't see it until they drop it off. But I would never look at mine until the end of the
Yeah.
night when I'm putting
Yeah, me
them in.
too.
Because then you think about it and then it
Yeah.
just takes your mood down for the rest of the
Yeah.
night.
And then what about even if you're going to pay the bill with a credit card, leaving the tip in cash?
Would be
Would
best.
be
I know that
preferred.
might be illegal to say that. Well, it's not
No.
illegal to
No.
say
No,
it.
because we're still
We like
paying it.
cash.
We're still claiming it.
But
I like cash.
it may get
Wink.
taxed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it may get taxed more than we actually need to claim because of credit card tips.
I see.
So
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah. And
Well,
please
okay.
and thank you are
Yeah.
always great too. I feel like
That's
I love
also-
it. I
yeah.
love it when I get, especially young kids who say please and thank you. It just melts my heart, and I just love it when I hear it from young people. Like your kids. Like I love it how they don't even need to be asked. They just thank you. Oh, please, can I have another?
Can I please
ginger
have
ale?
another ginger ale?
Yeah,
Can I please have another
like-
lemonade?
And your heart
Yes.
melts a little
Yeah,
bit. Or
It's
something.
like,
nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for saying that. Like, these kids are like, I just need this. Like, it's so needy. It's horrible.
Well, so it's interesting how we've talked about all sorts of things, but to me, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about, here's the big lesson, everybody. Servers are people too. I didn't even know that.
Oh, really?
Mind blowing.
Before we started talking about that, I really didn't know.
Oh my
and now I realize...
We're not drones. We don't have remote
We are
controls.
not robots. Not robots.
Right. You mean not robots? Like
Not robots.
Yeah, right.
My man voice.
Yeah.
Yes, Kyle.
Let's not talk about Kyle, okay? That'll be up for next week. Okay, we'll talk about Kyle then.
Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
I
for
hope
having
that-
us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Delicious dish.
Yes, delicious dish.
All right, everybody. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Living in a city, when you're in it, watch the people walk by. And if you listen real close, you can hear them talk about their lives. And some hate it, some love it, some are felt, some are just tired. These are the people in the neighborhood, they just trying to make it out right. See, she never wanna be a new
IPMNation.com.